Good evening. Happy Coast Salish Day to everybody. Welcome to the October 10th session of the Bellingham City Council. Announcements and upcoming meetings. Bellingham City Council meets all requirements of the State of Washington Open Meetings Act. On Monday, October 17th, 2016, at 7 p.m. in Council Chambers, the City Council will host a public hearing on the Comprehensive Plan Amendment. So I just want to reiterate that. That is our last public hearing on our comprehensive plan. So if anybody out there wishes to attend, it is next Monday, and we will take written comment until October 20th. On Monday, October 24th, 2016, at 7 p.m. in Council Chambers, the City Council will host a public hearing on the City of Bellingham's 2017-2018 revenue forecast, including property tax levy. Okay, and if you will all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Dan Hamill.
Here.
Jean Knutson.
Here.
Michael Lillequist.
Here.
Pinky Vargas.
Here.
Terry Borneman.
Here.
April Barker.
Here.
And Roxanne Murphy excused.
Thank you, Elizabeth. So we're going to go right into public comment. What do you got for me there, Michael?
Mr. McDonald.
Okay. So right now we have one speaker, and that is Mr. Joseph McDonald. And I don't think I have to go over all the, I think you probably have those down, Joseph.
My name is Joseph McDonald, and you know I have a speech impediment, and I'm very glad to be here tonight. The City of Bellingham is in a holy war with the false doctrines of Christianity. Christian kindness is taken as a weakness and is sprayed upon in the city. I have a sobering message which can step on people's toes, but I will not cram it down their throats. They can either take it or leave it. It not only affects the whole world, but this community as well. Bellingham is on a major fault line, and it's way overdue for a big earthquake. The scientists say it's not a matter of if, but when this is going to happen. I believe this is how Jehovah God is going to outpour his Holy Spirit to the world again. I believe this can happen anytime after the next year, after the celebration of the 500th anniversary of the Reformation, and the Protestant churches sign a declaration of unity with the Pope. Don't take me wrong. I don't want to be mistaken. I think Catholic people are some of the kindest people in the world. Mother Teresa is an example of that kindness. But they did create Sunday worship, which is not biblical, and Protestant churches bought into it. What day is the Sabbath? Saturday or Sunday? That is not a trick question. I believe that it's one thing to make a bunch of rules and regulations to keep God's law. It's another to disregard his law altogether. Disregarding the Sabbath is implying that God is wrong. Besides, what would Jesus do but go to church on Saturday? He said in John 14:15, "If you love me, keep my commandments." What I find heartbreaking is I see a lot of good people doing a lot of good things, but don't keep the Sabbath and go to church on Sunday. As dysfunctional as it may sound, it seems the devil is doing an inside job on the Sunday churches. It's my prayer that people who go to church on Sunday will take heed of the words of the Revelation 18:4 and get out of Babylon. I'm also concerned about your recent censorship of personal attacks through public comment. This allows anyone to do whatever they want to in the city without being criticized. For example, they can display hate speech and harass people. It is also how a communist government can do whatever it wants to do without criticism. Democracy is what makes this country so great, and you want to ruin it. Thank you, and God bless America while still here.
Thank you, Joseph. Anyone else here wish to speak a public comment this evening? No? Okay. so we're going to close public comment for the evening. And we're going to move into a review of our committee meetings today. And the first committee meeting was Finance and Personnel, and I am standing in for the chair, Roxanne Murphy. What we reviewed today was an intergovernmental cooperative purchasing agreement, and the committee unanimously recommended approval. And with that, I so move.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0 with one absent, or one excused, rather. Thank you. I'll put it like that. How's that? Thank you very much. Okay. I'm not very
Thank you,
tall, so
Oz.
it kind of blocks my, thank you, Oz. Okay, we'll see if that helps. Our next committee was Parks and Recreation, and Michael Lilliquist is the chair.
Thank you, Pinky. The Parks Committee met this afternoon. We had one item before us, and it was consideration of the Chuckanut Center lease agreement. The Chuckanut Center, which was formerly known as the Center for Local Self-Reliance, is seeking to occupy the former Fairhaven Rose Garden Caretaker's House in Fairhaven Park. And a lease is required, and they are requesting a no-cost lease. And they ask this in consideration of the fact that they run public programs and services which they will be offering. And as required by the Bellingham Municipal Code, Council is required to set leases at a lower than market rate. This afternoon we had a presentation, and it showed the extensive remodeling that the center has done on the caretaker's house and the ADA improvements they've made. And they showed pictures of the large teaching garden and landscaping they've put in. It should be noted that the center is still responsible for maintenance of both the grounds and the house going forward, and that they will be providing programs to the public and school groups and similar. And in consideration of all of that, they're asking for the rent to be reduced to zero. They will still be paying the leasehold tax, and their other expenses have to do with operating the building, like the utilities. This afternoon, the committee unanimously recommended approval of the agreement, and I so move.
We have a motion in front of us. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0 with one excused.
End of committee report.
Thank you, Michael. Going on to Committee of the Whole, we had 4 items in front of us today. The first one was a status report from the Greenways Advisory Committee on Greenways 3 and the Greenway Program. And we had a presentation by David Marshak and Megan Lee from the Greenways Advisory Committee, often called the GAC to most. They gave us a little bit of a report on Greenways 3, but also gave us a little summary on things that have happened since 1990 when the first one was passed. Just a couple highlights. Land acquisition. In that time, we had 227 transactions, 961 acres acquired, and in regards to development, we've had 3 new park sites, 5 heritage park sites improved, 7 new major trail segments, and 7 major trails renovated. So they gave us a great update right now on where Greenways is and what they plan to do in the future if Greenways 4 levy passes. And that was for information only. The next item was a continued discussion of our draft 2016 Bellingham Comprehensive Plan. We did make some approvals, and we added a new motion. So the very first motion that we moved, that the committee recommended today, was to the approval of items 91 to 94 on the comprehensive plan. And let me see, do I need to add anything else? No. Okay. So do we need, you guys are looking at me funny. Do I not need to do the review of that again? Okay. So I think so just for information, we did approve the updated changes to items 91 to 94 and 75 to 90 in the comprehensive plan that is online for anybody to take a look at any of the changes and amendments. But I do believe we need to mention the motion that we added. Do we need to do that one, Peter?
I mean, you can report in the same way you just did
Okay.
as direction.
Okay. So we did make a motion also for direction to add a policy with language provided by Chief Gook, a policy related to community policing and an equal time spent proactive and reactive. And so the council unanimously recommended that. Oh, no, I take
No, it
that
didn't.
back. Terry Borneman opposed. I apologize, Terry. I didn't mean to speak out of turn there.
I opposed because there was no language there, so, yes.
So that was the updates for our comprehensive plan. Then we had a presentation on our 2017-18 biannual budget. Mayor Kelly provided an overview for us. Just to top highlights, key investments in public safety, environment, social services, and economic development, and our top priority being public safety. So the entire budget is now posted online, so if anybody wishes to review this lovely document that talks about what we're going to be doing in our city and where we're going to be spending our money, and we are always interested to see people's thoughts and opinions on that. But just to, so we had an overview of the entire budget, a summary by Mayor Linville. Is there anything that you wanted to add to that, Mayor Kelly?
Well, just as always, this is a recommendation to council, and we'll all be looking forward to the public comment that happens and the comments from council. It's basically a status quo budget with certain strategic additions, and we're going to continue to go through the department head narratives of what their accomplishments were and what their work plans are and what you need to expect for the next 2 years. We are still in a deficit situation, and we'll go over more details about the actual numbers of that. Not as bad as we thought it was going to be, which is a good thing. And so we'll have a chance to look at what caused the budget to grow and did not allow us to have a lot of discretion over where the investments were. And other than that, I don't think I have anything to add.
Thank you, Mayor. And we did move into the Mayor's Boardroom, and we had a work session on our 2017-2018 budget, and we had different departments present to us. Those departments today were Human Resources, Finance, Museum, Library, Hearing Examiner, and Legal. So just to give everyone an idea what our timeline is for the budget, our first review is today. On October 24th, we will look at IT, Public Works. On November 7th, Fire, Police, Municipal Court. On the 14th, Parks and Recreation, Planning, Executive, and City Council. And then November 28th, if we need a special meeting for further discussion, we will put that in. And then first approval will be December 5th and possibly first and second, and final will be December 12th. So any other things or questions, anything wanted to add on the budget process today? Okay, thank you very much to the mayor and staff for providing all that information today. Okay, so that would be the end of our committee of the whole agenda items. And next we have minutes to approve. And our minutes is for September 26th for our regular city council meetings.
Second.
Councilmember Lillquist.
Yeah, I'd like to suggest a minor correction. It was the item that Terry brought up about a possible memorial, and it says that it'll be needed to consult with the Public Works Director. I think staff understands that's actually probably the Parks Director.
Okay.
So if we could just make that the Parks Director, that's in the last item under new
Thank
business.
you. I didn't even notice
That's
that.
it.
Thank you. Okay. So,
Kelly.
sorry, Mayor
Yeah,
Kelly.
I think it depends on where we put it. If we're
Right,
putting it in the
so-
public right-of-way, then I'd like for Public Works to be included. If we're putting it in a park, solely in a park, then definitely just the Parks Department.
Thank you. So we have a motion to accept the September 26 meeting minutes with the one amendment. All those in favor, please approve. Please say aye.
Aye.
Same, right? Yeah. Opposed? Motion carries 6-0 with one excused. Old or new business? Anyone have anything for, Mayor Kelly?
Just me. I did meet with a couple of people from the Finnish delegation, and they had requested that we raise the sister city flag, in each sister city flag in front of City Hall at a point of their Independence Days. I personally don't have a problem with that. I'm expecting that Peter will jump in if I do. But I thought that's a nice way to show acknowledgement of our sister cities, which we're not extremely, we support them, and Liz Coogan, my staff, supports their group. They also would love to see the city elected officials travel to some of their events. Now they're having a complete, fully paid trip to Mongolia October 15th, which is a little short notice. But next year, the Finnish delegation would like someone to volunteer to go to Finland. It's their 75th. Okay. Hey, listen, I told them, yeah, so you guys can arm wrestle for it. But I told them that I do want to talk to the council about having a little bit higher profile when dignitaries come to town and that type of thing, and also when they request that we go. Now, the trips are not always paid for by the delegation or they're not paid for by the sister cities, but so basically when Seth went in my place to, is it Japan? Seth went to Japan, and of course he bore the expense of his trip. So anyway, I would like to talk to you a little bit further about that, make sure that we're well represented, and Pinky and I have started the discussion. So if you don't, I don't think it takes an action on City Council's part for me to raise the flags. They said they would supply the flags, and so I think that sounds fine.
Councilmember Barker, and then the list.
It's when people see that and they don't know what that's for. If they go to the main city website, will there be something so they
We'll
can
make
understand?
sure that people are aware of why the flag is flying.
I think flying the flag would be a great idea. I know there's a lot of flag protocol about how you're supposed to raise it and how high it goes, but I think it's a wonderful idea. I think the problem we've had in the past is sometimes there's not enough warning. I mean, the Mongolia is an example. It's kind of extreme, but sometimes I felt really bad that not enough of us were available. But if we don't know in advance, and then I feel like not a very good host, and none of us wants that. So I don't know how much in advance the sister city organization
Well, this
knows.
one's a year in advance.
This one's a year, yeah.
And I think the other thing is the way that sister cities work, when there is a city that wants to be a sister city, there's a representatives from the community that kind of sponsor that sister city. So they're the liaison between the city and the sister city, and they usually arrange the trips and the events that are going to happen here. And they usually invite my office or your office to participate. And we had a miscommunication I think when the Mongolians were here last time, and there was a miscommunication. There's certain things we can pay for and certain things that we can't. And there was I guess someone was gone, and so being invited to the official dinner didn't happen. And so I smoothed that over, but I really don't want that to happen again either. So maybe we need to talk a little bit in the committee of the whole, about how you'd like it to work, and I can bring forward some recommendations and make sure that there's enough notice ahead of time. And it would be greatly appreciated. They'd love it.
Well, I think it's a great way to show our connection to the rest of the world and show our place in it. So I think that's wonderful. Anyone else? If not, I have something for old or new business. I just wanted to let everybody know that on Wednesday, I'm going to go to Washington, D.C. for the Georgetown University Energy Prize. I'm meeting with a bunch of other cities that we're working on some final things for the prize, and remind everybody out there that we only have 3 months left to knock this out of the park and win $5 million for the city to do some really great things. So if you're wondering about it, it's BellinghamEnergyPrize.org. But we have 3 months left to make a significant impact for our city. And who knows, maybe if we won $5 million, we could pull $1 million out of that for district energy. Just saying, maybe. So it doesn't have to come out of the mayor's budget. Yeah.
But we might have a less costly alternative to propose to you. So if I put solar panels on the roof of my house, do I get to count for anything?
Absolutely you do. So how it does is we're based on our usage. So if your solar panels are taking care of all of your usage, then it doesn't count on your meter, and it minuses itself out. So therefore, it looks like you're not using any energy. So all those 49 residents that were involved in Solarize Wacom, which I believe you were as well, the mayor, they are all part of that in reducing the energy consumption in the city.
So I don't have to do anything, you just are counting me?
We just count you.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
The energy usage goes down, and that's how we win is based on the amount of kilowatt and therm usage that the residents, the city, and the school uses. So when those numbers go down, that's how we win. Okay. Okay, if there's nothing else for old or new business, then I'm just going to do a little report out from our executive session today. We had a collective bargaining contract negotiation with the Bellingham Police Guild. Staff provided information on the proposed collective bargaining agreement between the city and the Bellingham Police Guild. Action: the council will entertain a motion to ratify the agreement with the following general terms. Wage increase 2% January 1st, 2017 and 0.5% July 1st, 2017. Excuse me.
Move approval.
Second.
Yep. Okay, we have a motion and second. We'll wait a minute here then.
Oh, you're going to go out there?
Yeah. Take a knee, yeah. We can go ahead. We've got a motion and second before us. Any comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, answer aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Finally got to her after all these
Okay.
months.
And you're on.
Quick question for Peter. Did I have to read out the benefits portion of that statement because I kind of left my post?
You should, yeah.
Okay, all right. So I just wanted to add that the benefits are included in that. Members of the bargaining unit may choose between the Regents 250 and Group Health 200 plans effective January 1st, 2017, a high deductible plan with health savings account, and the Group Health preferred provider option PPO will also be offered. Oh, and now I can turn it over to the mayor's report.
Thank you. I have no report, but I do have some things that I'd like to give you for your information or approval. I am appointing Galen Hers to the Mayor's Neighborhood Advisory Commission as the WWU co-chair representative. Mayor's appointment of Ann Beck to the Community Development Advisory Board. Mayor's appointment of Simone Sangster to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. And then I needed an approval to appoint Jeanette Kaiser to the Greenways Advisory Committee.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to appoint Janet Kaiser to the Greenway Advisory Committee. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstaining.
Okay, so the approval is 5 with 1 excused and 1 abstention.
Now, does she have to abstain because it's her mom?
That's probably a good
It's her mom, so I think maybe a little
I'm
conflict of
related.
interest will avoid that. So,
Conflict
you know,
of interest.
Well, we'll tell your mom you didn't want to.
I didn't want to. Well, I didn't vote against her.
thank you, Mayor. Consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda approved 6-0. Final consideration of ordinances.
Agenda Bill 21367, an ordinance of the City of Bellingham, Washington, adopting a flat rate for water service in 2017, amending sections 15.08.250 of the Bellingham Municipal Code.
Move third and final.
Second.
Terry Borneman,
Aye.
Dan Hamel,
Aye.
Gene Knutson,
You bet.
Michael Lillquist,
Aye.
Pinky Vargas,
Aye.
April Barker,
Aye.
and Roxanne Murphy is excused. Ordinance passes 6-0 with Roxanne Murphy excused.
Okay, with that, again, happy Coast Salish to everybody, and if you're Canadian, it's happy Thanksgiving in Canada land today. And, let's go to Costco. Yeah. Just a reminder to everyone that next Monday we are having our public hearing for our comprehensive plan, and our next City Council meeting will be on October 24th, and with that, we are adjourned.